There will be no excuses for anybody out there today. The weather is perfect. The pitch is like a bowling green. The incentive is clearly there for two clubs who started the season very well and both boast the ideal mix of experienced professionals and up-and-coming youngsters. Dundee United make one change from last week. Craig Easton is out and Jim McIntyre comes in. So they play McCuddy, Loughlin, Griffin and Al-Jofri at the back. Three across midfield. Miller just in front of Hannah, Buchan and McIntyre, and Lilly and Hamilton up front. And here's the player who's proving the still life after the old firm, Charlie Miller, enjoying a positive rebirth up here, and everybody hopes he realises his full potential now. Dunfermline have never beaten United here in a Premier League game, so history weighs very heavily on these shoulders. Justin Skinner is out, of course, suspended, so the Pars form a back four. Duisberg, Skeller, Thompson and McGrorty. Nicholson, Mason, Nichols and Dare in midfield, Crawford and De Geer up front. And like Charlie Miller, Barry Nicholson has had to swallow his pride in leaving a major club and to get on with it, which he has done with great success. Referee today, Stuart Dougal. Well, I think both sets of players and the referee are anxious to get on with it. According to my watch, we've kicked off 2 minutes early. I must say, they've started well, as I said, but the realistic objective of both these clubs is to stay in the top six. Hardly any chance of them winning the league championship, cup win perhaps. But you know, it was summed up perfectly for me by Alex Smith before kick-off when he said because of the success United have had here in the past under wee Jim, it means the expectations must remain high here. They must remain in the top echelon. Well, we should see a lot of attacking football, given the fact that Dunfermline have played up until that game against Rangers in a rather swashbuckling style. No reason at all why they shouldn't go at United in the same spirited manner this afternoon. There. Well, I think the pitch must be pretty hard down there because certainly Marco Rutenbeek totally deceived by that. Look at the bounce. Very well picked up by Mason. Good acquisition by Dunfermline Mason. Experienced pro. Rorty taking it on the left. Not a bad shot, a good opening to this game, I must say. Well, both sides have been aggressive right from the start, and I think the goalkeepers are going to be fairly busy at either end. Picked up neatly by Buchan. Very good start by Dunfermline, but I think United have steadied themselves now. Miller lacks the ball in this situation and he's having a go. I think he was entitled to do that. The options were very few on either side. Looks up very quickly. Well, Charlie Miller's the player you kept talking about, that he was going to be great. He was really superb as a youngster. Then suddenly that flat period at Ibrox, nothing went right for him. Now he's trying to revive it. Crawford again. Oh, it's a very ambitious ball. Oh, you'd need to be an Olympic sprinter with that kind of pass. Miller has come back very deep. Now, is there a bit of pace in his run forward by Lilly? Does very well. He's still to score this season. Hamilton has played back. Must be, yes! Lovely goal. Jim McIntyre. The Dundee United players sweeping downfield, and for the first time in the game, using width to effect, and Dunfermline ripped apart in the middle. Beautifully headed down. And in it went from Jim McIntyre. He could have put it virtually anywhere. Well, nerves can sometimes beset the player in a situation like that, but he picked it up well, and after 12 minutes, United find themselves in the lead. There's a run forward, De Gea after it. Good play by Dunfermline. That was an excellent move. Finished by a shot by Dave Nichols. That's a free kick, yes. And I think Charlie Miller will be addressed by the referee for that, saying it used his knee. Back he goes. Under the former Ranger, Barry Nicholson will take the free kick. Oh, what can Crawford do with it? Good intelligent play, that's just pass. De Gea coming in very quickly. And he's claiming there was a deflection. I must say, from here it looked like it. This might give us a clue. He comes in very quickly. No, I think he took it cleanly, and I think it went straight from him over the crossbar. Once again, a very good move by Dunfermline. Some of the football has been very exciting coming from midfield, as I said earlier on. They're better doing this, and look at that. A little bit of luck was required for it. Duisburg doing the right thing, attacking, excellent interception. Buchan coming away. United spreading out on either side. Lilly. That's a decent effort for a man who's yet to score this season, even though he was the top goal scorer for United with 7 last season. I think once he opens his account, which he couldn't do there, more goals will flow from that boot. It's Griffin. Well, Joffrey. That's neatly played in. Lilly, can he let blast? Oh, yes! He does open his account at last, and United are 2 up after 27 minutes. Oh, no hesitation there. A lovely inviting ball, and this is where they've been vulnerable. These little touches on with a head by Hamilton, and his partner gladly assisted. Although, looking at that again, I would have said Rutenbeek distinguished himself in trying to stop it. There might have been a bit of spin or curve in it. Wrong side, and I think De Gea just to be fouling again. Well, the referees had a quite word with him previously. He'll have to watch himself. It's nicely played. Hamilton. Charlie Miller, lovely touch. Oh, great move. And when that was put through to Al-Joffrey, you could see he could do nothing other than try to place it away to the right-hand side, but the very presence of Nicholson coming in, seeing the danger, I think thwarted him. Lovely move by United. Gorty. Nice cut inside by Jason Deere. Yeah, he's away. Yes, I think he was playing for some infringement there. He was never going to get it. I thought for a moment he was just wriggling clear of that defence. Look at the way he took it there. And as we watch that, the half-time whistle goes. Dunfermline, even though there was a little chance for them there, fallen away very badly in the latter part of this first half. And how vulnerable they were in the air. I mean, it wasn't exactly an aerial bombardment by Dundee United because they played the ball on the ground a lot, but nevertheless, look just at the ease by which this was played back to McIntyre for the first goal. And he took it well, had to remain cool, and it went. And then a very good goal. This time, Derek Lilly, no hesitation, again played to him. after that ball was high in the air, and that's good control. So United perfectly deservedly 2 goals up at half-time. To admit at the start of the second half it's something akin to a culture shock seeing United in this vein. I've done so many games with United over the past couple of seasons in which, as a commentator, you find it very difficult to say anything good about them, and then today we're watching a side that's well structured, well organised, well motivated, obviously playing with great confidence in the man who selected them, Alex Smith. Totally different United, and for the sake of Scottish football, long may it last. Well, Joffrey once again at the vulnerable, but that was a better clearance. Thompson doing infinitely better there. Now Nicholson trying to turn the tide here. Won't do it that way. I think a free kick, yes. I don't think there's any doubt that Gary Mason had to foul there to retrieve that. I don't know quite he lingered on the ball quite so long. Well, look at the free header there. Well, maybe the manager would use a word stronger than lamentable, which I use at the moment, but you cannot let that man have a free header like that. I think a further substitution coming up here. Lee Bullen about to come on. It's Michael Duisberg. So on comes Lee Bullen. Edinburgh boy, began his career with Meadowbank Thistle. Oh, simple ball, easily mopped up. Hampshire. A little bit predictable, that's a penalty kick, yes. Yes, he had to go for it, Bullen, and there had to be a challenge by the defender, and it was a crude one by Danny Griffin, who's been impeccable thus far. So Dunfermline, well out of this game, have an opportunity to inch back in again. We're in the 13th minute of the second half, and simple little incidents like that can turn fortunes. Yes, easily put in by Scott Thompson, giving some life to the Dunfermline support beside me. To be honest, they've not really deserved to get that close to United at this stage. I think they'll have to do an awful lot more to justify getting a draw out of this, but that's football. Well, here's a man who's seen the ups and downs of this game, and now his team have a chance. Trying to play down the left, neatly inside there. Miller! Oh, he read it brilliantly, Miller. Running from about 30 yards away to come in on that. Here he comes from midfield, and that bounce of the ball just a little bit too high for him for adequate control. Free kick. Nicholson preparing for this. Shot one to Bullen. Got that through well now. Nicholson. That's a decent ball. Well, Bullen, having engineered the move in the first place, coming back inside. Well, it fell to him the right kind of way. Just all he did was turn his head in the wrong direction, though. Halfway through the second half. Beautiful leap there by Hamilton. Charlie Miller, there's a lovely ball through Lilly. Can he put it away? No! Flicked away by McGrorty. Excellent move, all coming again from that touchdown in the air. Now, no offside. Laughlin did very well, Laughlin, to come back. Jason Dare. Well, that was an excellent flow of football at either end. Exactly what the game needed halfway through this half. There was a breakaway. Dare trying to take advantage of it, but it's going to be very difficult to beat a goalkeeper of Gallagher's quality with a shot, even as well drilled as that. A good shot, that's a brilliant save. Well, I mentioned this young goalkeeper is a budding star. Well, he already is of the highest quality, but he's a young man with a great career in front of him. There is the proof of it. He's had hardly anything to do in the game, and that's always the sign of a good goalkeeper, when he can pull something out of the bag like that. Better clearance. McGrotty. That's a free kick. Now then, the free kicks that they have taken already haven't been all that effective. In fact, they've been rather poor. That was late. So, by the law of averages, they might just make it this time. Might have embellished it slightly as he went down. And that's a great goal! Thompson! Superbly fired in. They have come back in style. Well, I said they had to take a better free kick than some of the others. And how much better can you get than that? No chance for a superb goalkeeper. Well beyond him, and now his side, which looked well beaten in the earlier part of the second half, are back in with a bang, and indeed might even go on to win this game. Football never ceases to amaze you. But I did try to fight back. It's Lily with it. There's a lovely ball through Johnny Miller. No penalties, fighting hard for it. And that's a claim, it's a penalty kick. It's a penalty kick. Gary Mason going in there. And that eruption of joy by the Dunfermline bench is going to be short-lived probably in this incredible second half. Well, Charlie Miller may have been in a position to score the third anyway. I think he should have put it away, but his persistent, sheer persistence in trying to go through produces the penalty. It's 2-2, it could now be 3-2. Hamilton, yes, he's done it. Oh, that must be very, very sore in Dunfermline. Fighting back the way they did. Well, he judged it well. The goalkeeper guessing correctly the angle, but not the distance. And we've got 30 minutes left of this game. Tremendous second half. Yeah. Well, all credit to Dunfermline. I thought they would have beaten side. There we are, there's Alex Smith, incensed that he's allowed his players have allowed the opposition back into it. Two managers really have something to shout about in different ways. Look at them, so animated. Can you blame them? I think he might have disputed that penalty award. Hazard a guess that he would. And the referee's going to have a word with Jimmy Calderwood. Getting slightly the better of both managers, in fact. Both looking very belligerent. And he apologises. The only thing you can do. They're happy. Bullen. Slack ball forward though. And United get it away. And the final whistle goes. A remarkable game, especially in the second half. Dunfermline at that stage looked well beaten. Hardly a shot at goal against Paul Gallagher. And then suddenly the substitution of Lee Bullen, his push forward, the penalty awarded, and Thompson converting it coolly. And then a magnificent free kick after one or two that had been damp squibs. That one certainly wasn't. And right away, immediately, Charlie Miller with an opportunity, then the ball coming to Lilly, brought down, penalty kick, and Hamilton scored the winner. Great entertainment, and that's the best thing you can say about any football match. Final score, Dundee United 3, Dunfermline 2.
Great game, yeah, I must admit. I just said to the lads there that that's heart attack stuff, you know. I mean, in the first half I thought we controlled the game, played very well, scored 2 excellent goals, got ourselves into a right good winning position. Even in the first quarter and hour of the second half I thought we kind of controlled it, and then there was a substitution change with Dunfermline and it changed things a bit.
I think it was a tremendous advert for Scottish football actually, you know, two attacking teams when we could attack. 5 goals, a lot of incidents, you know, but as you say, from one point of view, we've given ourselves a mountain to climb. I thought we dominated the game. I mean, even first half, you know, when they scored the 2 goals, of pure defensive mistakes from us, not taking nothing away from Dundee United, but the first attack, the first time over the halfway line, we've lost it on the side. Cross comes in and two players go for the ball and the lads went free run to goal and scored, and the second one was really the same.
I thought the first half we played really well and we controlled the game, but full credit to Dunfermline. Second half they had a right good go and went to their kamikaze tactics they usually do when they're down, but full credit to them, they had a go and they were unlucky not to get something out of the game.
I think myself and Jim play very well together through the middle. You know, we seem to link up very well, and Jim McIntyre on the wing today gave us a lot of good options, and with a lot of good supply today.
I think you were right taking your first goal first time without any hesitation.
Yeah, I think the big centre half was coming in to close me down. You know, and it just sat up very nice for me. You know, and it was just got it quite sweet.
Yeah, we'll take some of that every week, lads. Thank you very much indeed. And Graham Spears watching those highlights with me. We enjoy matches like that, don't we? And it all goes well for a long, hard season ahead, doesn't it?
Great game, really enjoyable game. And also, Jim, you know, it's interesting. I've seen 2 or 3 games now this season out involving neither of the Old Firm. And the more evidence you see, the more it makes you think maybe there is potential for excitement within Scottish football if this Old Firm departure scenario comes about. Because, yeah, again, that was really exciting yesterday. What a fantastic game.
Yeah, the United fans are certainly enjoying their start to the season, and when we see these first 2 goals, it's certainly happening for them on the park.
I think United are a great credit to Alex Smith, a very gifted coach. This was a ball well won by Lilly, great knockdown by Hamilton, and a fantastic finish from Jim McIntyre. Also, it's quite pleasing for Jim McIntyre because I think he was quite sore having played at Reading for the last 2 or 3 seasons and scored goals for them and done quite well. I think he felt a bit put out to be shunted from Reading, so he's playing well again.
And we highlighted Jim Hamilton on the programme last week for getting into scoring positions, but he's knocking down the ball for other players, Derek Lilly in this case.
Yeah, and he's not just an aerial threat. He was yesterday. Obviously that's a major part of his game, but Jim McIntyre's got a very good touch, very good technique. He's actually quite a well-rounded footballer. But yesterday, both these goals stemmed from his head, but he's a complete player.
Alex Smith's made some very interesting signings for Dundee United, and Derek Lilly, another one, getting his goal yesterday. He was a good player as a youngster, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just think Alex Smith took a leaf out of Jim McLean's book. Jim McLean in the 80s used to let good Scottish players go down to England, like Dave Bowman, who went to Coventry, Jim McInally, who went to Forest. He let good players go down there, fail slightly, but better themselves as talent, and then bring them back up on cheapskate prices. That's what Jim McLean used to do. Now Derek Lilly's the same. Derek Lilly's always been a good player, has had experience in England, and it's just a wise purchase by Alex Smith. He's come back up and he's got experience and he's got skill.
We're certainly not underestimating the contribution of Dunfermline in this game yesterday. Now they're 2 goals down. Jimmy Calderwood decides to throw on Lee Bullen.
Yeah.
You can see Lee telling his other players, let's go 2 at the back, and it's 2-4-4 and it's everybody pushing up.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Calderwood's always I mean, Jimmy Calderwood's a terrific guy, and he's a very convincing football manager, very gifted. He's always bragging about these tactics of his, and they worked again yesterday. What a comeback! The first was a clear penalty. Bullen was clearly brought down, and it was well taken. And then we see here Dunfermline applied more and more pressure, and were clearly coming back into the game in the second half, doing very well.
And it pays off, doesn't it? Because the goal comes eventually, despite that fantastic save by Ian Gallagher.
Good, and Jack De Geer as well, another good signing. He's got very good technique.
David Tanner didn't think that was a foul, but I think, David, when you watch this again, you'll agree it was.
I think it was. And this is just terrific. Scott Thompson is a very interesting case. 9 years ago, 10 years ago, a winger. Always played in the wing. And if memory serves me correctly, Alex Smith signed him, I think, for Aberdeen. And I remember somebody saying to me years and years ago, somebody saying to me, there are lots of players at Aberdeen at that time that weren't fit to lace Scott Thompson's boots. He was such a skillful player. And he's just developed as a centre-back. He's kind of gone further back on the pitch, but he's furthered his career in terms of his own standing, and he's done very well.
Well, I think Scott might have a word with young Gary Mason when he sees this penalty incident again. He does lunge in here, doesn't he?
Yeah, to be honest, this was a bit of a comedy, not for Jimmy Calderwood, who was going berserk watching this. But Gary Mason, Charlie Miller was a bit blasé there. He could have done better. We then have this scramble in the box. Mason here does very well, but by this point he's knackered, and he just lunges in. I mean, from a neutral point of view, it's a slightly comical challenge, but poor Gary Mason had done very well, and he was scrapping away here. He makes an initial tackle here that's very good. He then gets caught up in lots of kind of tackling and scrapping for the ball, and he's losing his feet, and he just lunges in. It was just a kind of intemperate challenge.
Jim Hamilton, when we eventually see the penalty kick, Jim Hamilton was so confident yesterday. He just grabbed that ball and he wasn't going to miss.
Yeah, I think he took penalties for Hearts, Jim Hamilton, and he's got a nice left foot. Nice penalty.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved win for Dundee United. You would say over the piece?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was an exciting game, and I think probably they just edged it. But the interesting thing about Dundee United is the transformation from the shambles of last season to now third in the division.
Well, that is something which Alex Smith totally agrees with.
I think it's down to the players and the supporters, to be honest. I mean, there's a great spirit about the club now. There's a tremendous spirit in the dressing room. When they go in the park, they take the spirit onto the park with them. There's a fair amount of skill in the team as well. But the supporters from the start to the finish today were behind the team, and they've been magnificent. So it is a collective thing, and the club is coming as a unit together, which is great.